Come on in, pull up a chair and take a load off because today I'll be sharing a bit of how to play as well as my review of Funfair from Good Games Publishing. If you add this to your collection, will you be squealing with delight like a kid on a roller coaster? Or will you be crying out, "Stop this ride! I want to get off"? Well, you're going to find out right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As mentioned in the open, I am going to be sharing a bit of a how to play as well as my review of Funfair, which is from Good Games Publishing. It's designed by Joel Finch with artwork provided by Mr. Cuddington. It is for 2 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 30 to 60 minutes, and does carry an MSRP of $39.99. The game is available right now, to point out. Also, should mention the fine folks over at Good Games Publishing were kind enough to send me this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share my thoughts about this game with you. These days, it's important for you to know that. So let's swing on over to the other camera because I've got Funfair laid out. So I started saying unfair because the game that came before this, which is a real take that sort of game, you're actually building theme parks that are in disrepair. It's called Unfair. And actually, I received a review copy of that. I haven't gotten to play it enough yet to do my review. But Funfair is actually part of the same universe. But in this game, which is actually a bit quicker playing and a bit lighter than Unfair, but in Funfair, you're actually competing with the other players to build cool theme parks that people would want to go to, as opposed to complete disasters. So I've got this laid out. Once again, the game is for 2 to 4 players. One cool thing about this board is it's dual-sided. This side is if all the players were on one side of the table, you would use this side. If you flip it over, it's actually designed if you have players on both sides. So I thought that was kind of neat. I thought that was a nice little touch. So as far as the component quality, very, very nice. Cardstock's nice. Do want to point out, sleeve the cards. Even though it's good quality, you're going to shuffle these cards a lot. So you're definitely going to want to get card sleeves for them. We've got this first player ticket. So I thought that's kind of cool that this is kind of like a ticket that goes around the table to mark the first player. We have different steps in each of the rounds. The game is played out in 6 rounds. And we have this front car of a roller coaster with these people sitting in it. So that's how we will mark that. I thought that was a nice little extra touch as well. So we've got a variety of decks of cards. So we've got a deck of city cards. And these city cards are kind of a timer. Because there are 6 rounds, you'll have 6 city cards. So the first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to deal out a couple of city cards. Then you're going to take this blueprint deck closing soon card, place it on top of those 2, and then deal out 4 more city cards. So every time you flip a city card over, it's going to show you some special thing that's going on. It's usually something that all the players get to do. And that also helps you track your turns, your rounds in the game. We then have blueprint cards. Because you are building attractions, you can have at most 5 attractions in your theme park. You're going to want to get blueprint cards, which are kind of like special missions. And if you complete that special mission, which is essentially has to do with your attractions, you'll get bonus victory points at the end of the game. I do want to mention, from what I've seen so far in playing, you usually need to complete 2 or 3 blueprint cards to really be in the running as far as points at the end of the game. Thing about the blueprint cards, though, is if you don't complete the mission, it will cost you points at the end of the game. We then have park cards. This is the largest of the decks of cards. We're going to go through that quite a bit. We also have award cards. So this is just kind of a special win condition, special extra victory point mission as well. So you're going to choose one of those and put it in play. Right now I show that we've got the finest park award. So if you have the park with the most quality icons, you will score those 15 bonus victory points. And as an example, that is a quality icon right there, deluxe quality. This is the marketplace here. So you're using these different cards to build your amusement park, and you'll have a hand of cards, plus we've got the market as well. Each of the players will receive a showcase card. This is a special super cool ride that they can look to build. I'm going to take one of those right there, flip that on over. I will zoom in at the end of the how to play and review here so you can get a little better look at the cards. Definitely think the artwork is very, very cool. Really like it quite a bit. So this is your showcase. You're going to actually keep it flipped over until you build it. You're also going to receive a hand of 5 park cards to start with. You're going to look at your hand of cards. You're going to make sure you have at least one attraction available to you in order to start the game. If you don't, then you can declare a mulligan, discard these cards, and get 5 new cards, because you need to be able to have at least one attraction to be able to build starting off the game. You're also going to receive 30 coins, because money makes the world go around. It also makes the world of theme parks go around as well. Everybody else is also going to get a gate card. So you're going to flip that over. That is the gate to your park. Your attractions will be built to the right of the gate. Any staff you might hire will go to the left of the gate. So those are the various different decks of cards that we've got. I will grab my cards here. So you have 6 rounds, and in each round we have some different steps that you can take. So the first thing we're going to do is the city. So we've got the city steps. So that's where we would flip this over. And this card says, "Not so secret Santa." And it basically says, choose a card in the market that the player to your left can build into their park for free. And so on. So that's kind of the little special event that would take place during this turn. If it's something that everybody gets to do, you're just going to go in order of the first player and go clockwise from there. The first player is supposed to be the last person who rode on a roller coaster. Of course, in this time of pandemic, I don't know if people's memories will go back that far. So you can just choose somebody at random or however else you'd like to do it. So what you're going to do then, after you've got the city step, then we're going to move into the park step. And there are different things you're going to be able to do. So you're essentially going to be able to take 3 actions per round until you build the showcase. So if you build your showcase, you will actually be able to take a 4th action. So one thing that's going to happen is you're going to get money placed on your showcase, right? It's like investors investing on this big, cool ride. So you should be able to build that like after the 4th round, but you might consider building it early because getting those extra actions are very important. So it's something to keep in mind. So what you're going to be able to do is during the build phase, obviously you can build something. So you can build something from your hand, or you can build something from the market. So in essence, okay, so we've got a staff member here. You're not really building them, you're hiring them, but that does take place in this phase. So I actually have a freak show attraction. I have a water slide attraction. I've got a couple of snack sellers, which I would actually want to get rid of one of these because I can only have one of each type of employee, staff member over here. Just like you can upgrade your attractions. I'll talk about that. You can only have one of a named type. So I have 2 snack sellers. I'm going to actually want to get rid of one of these at some point. So I've got the water slide. I've got the freak show. We have a cinema attraction over here as well. So let's say I'm the first player. We'll look and we have a little area here that's going to show like gold coins. That's how much it costs for you to build that or hire that person. So what I might consider doing is, because I've already got a couple of attractions in my hand, I might actually look to take the cinema here as an attraction, pay 4 coins in order to build it. So I'd get a coin back. So we've got my bank over here, and I would take the cinema and I could build it just like so. And once you do that, you're going to replace that card immediately with something from the park deck. So you always have the 6 cards in the market. So then it would be someone else's turn, and we'd go around the table, and then it'd come back to me. And once again, see, we would move that. So it's in our first park. So there's other things I can do in the park phase, though. I can take. So what I can do is I can take 2 park cards and decide to keep one or none. And if I didn't want any of them, I would discard those face up. So I can do that. That's a take. I can take that. Or I can take 2 blueprint cards and once again choose one or none. So to kind of give you an idea on these blueprint cards. So for an example, first one here is 4 flags. So there's 2 parts. So if I complete the top part, I would get 20 victory points at the end of the game. If I don't complete this top part, I'll lose 10 points. Then we also have a bonus target. So here it says any thrill ride with any 4 feature upgrades. So they have to be features. And it'll actually tell you on the cards what these things are. So as an example, I don't have a thrill ride. So I think my showcase ride is, yep, my showcase ride is a thrill ride. It's a super attraction. And it actually already has a built-in upgrade with a fairy tale theme. That's what that little F stands for there. That also shows that that is a thrill ride. That little icon up there with the roller coaster. But I don't want to do that yet. So that'd be an example of one. The other one is find foods, complete all items, any food outlet with at least 3 stars from upgrades. And these are stars right here. So I could have done that. Or I could discard a card from my hand, which I might as well do that because remember I got that the 2 snack sellers. Get rid of the snack seller there, and I can choose 5 cards and keep 1. And I would just kind of look through and say, okay, so what do we got here? We got a cinema. I already bought that and built that. Cotton candy vendor, workshop supervisor, fairy tale theme, and restroom. So I might actually go, just for the heck of it, take the restrooms. I'm going to keep that. And then I would actually discard all of these cards. That's why I mentioned you might want to sleeve these cards because you're going to actually shuffle some of these quite a bit. All right, so then we move along. We're on the 3rd time around. And maybe this time I want to do what's known as loose change, which is kind of funny. So I can actually, if I need money, I can actually go and collect what they consider to be loose change, which is from my attraction. So essentially, it's kind of funny. It's as if, people are employees are going through the park finding money that's falling out of people's pockets and things like that. If I do want to do loose change, I get a coin for every attraction. So if you're hard up for cash, you might consider doing that. I don't know. I'm not so sure I would be looking to do that. All right. So something else we can do, you can also demolish, which essentially means you can destroy a card from your park. Now, as you improve your attractions, you're going to actually be adding these cards in. So let's say, as an example, I decided that as my third action in the park phase, I was going to build the Express Queue, which is an upgrade. It's guest services. And it says, after you build this upgrade, you may choose a card from the market and put it into your hand. So you gotta pay attention to some of these items down here. So what we'll do here is, I would say build that. It was costing me 5. There you go. There's the 5. And then the ride would start to look like this. So what you're going to do is, at the end of the game, we're going to score different victory points, and we actually count up the icons on our attractions. So when I get to the scoring point, I'll discuss that with you. All right, and then we'd replace that, go around the table. Then we get to the guests. So this is where we will collect money. So we will collect money for these stars. So we have the 1 and the 1, so that'd be 2. So that would give me 2 coins. We also have staff members. So as an example, this cotton candy vendor, he would give you 3 extra coins for each leisure ride in your park. So there is an engine building aspect to this game, obviously enough. So as you get more upgrades, you get more employees, and as you add things that create new options for you, you're going to kind of build this out. It's not a heavy engine building game, but there is a bit of an engine building aspect, especially when it comes to getting the cash. So then what you're going to end up doing is, remember, we've got the showcase card. So you'll get 5 coins on your showcase card every time you get to the guest portion of that round. So, of course, this costs 20 coins to build. So on the next turn, I could decide I could build this on the next round. I could build this, and I already have 5 coins toward it. This money can only go towards your showcase. And keep in mind, the showcase is an attraction, and it counts toward your attractions. And you can upgrade your showcase like anything else. So eventually what you're going to do is you're going to have different themes. So for an example here, we see we've got the flagpole. It says it's an upgrade feature, but it says you can't add any more upgrades. So if I were to add this to an attraction, I can't add any more upgrades to that attraction. So that's something that you might want to hang on to do last. Now, I also want to point out, you can only ever have, at the end of the round, you can only have 5 cards in your hand. So what you actually end up doing early on is you really try to do your best to get some attractions out there fast, because those attractions are going to give you opportunities to upgrade them. But those attractions will also end up getting you money as well. So if I could afford it, I would have probably gone along the lines of maybe opening the water slide, opening the freak show, and I had already went ahead and built the cinema. So yes, that's 3 of my 5 attractions. If I build this, that'll be the 5th attraction. But the thing is, you want to start building up that cash, because your cash is going to run out and you're going to see bigger and better and cooler stuff come out as well. Plus, if there's an attraction out there that you're like, wow, I really want to get that, you can always demolish any attraction. Now, if you had, say for an example here, if I wanted to demolish the cinema, if I demolish the cinema, I lose all these as well. So those upgrades as well would have been discarded. Anytime you run out of park cards, you're going to reshuffle. If you run out of blueprint cards, you're going to reshuffle. So what's going to happen is, once you finish the 4th round, you're going to see this card, this blueprint deck closing soon. So that basically means at the end of this 4th round, you're going to take this card and you're going to put it on top, and nobody can get any more blueprints. So essentially what that's doing is it's forcing players to take some risk with blueprints in order to possibly get those extra victory points, because completing the blueprints are worth a big chunk of victory points. So you want to make sure you snag them, but by doing this, that's still leaving some time for you to complete blueprints, and it's also forcing you to try to design your park to fit those blueprints as well. I like that aspect of the game, where each of the players, as the game progresses, it's going to become a little more obvious of what they're trying to do. What's going to be the best plan of attack for you building your own theme park. That said, clever players can figure out what other players are probably looking to do as well. And just because you take a card from the market doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use it. So you can bury some cards to keep them out of other players' hands as well. So after that, we've got the cleanup. So the cleanup, we're just going to basically take all of our market cards, discard them, and then we're just going to refill the market with air conditioning. So we've got, that's an upgrade, that's an attraction, but it's a food outlet. Remember what that one blueprint we looked at was about food. It was having a food attraction, and I believe it was with 3 upgrades. We have another quality upgrade. We got another robot theme, and we have comfortable seating. So we only actually had one attraction come out in that. So something else that I do want to mention, as I was talking about with the employees, with the staff members, you can only have 1 of each named type. Same goes for upgrades on a single attraction. So as an example, let's say we went with air conditioning for the cinema, which I would certainly hope was available in there, right? So what'll happen is I could not put another air conditioning on this cinema. I already have one. Now, if I had another air conditioning, I could easily put it on the freak show. So that doesn't matter. It's just you can't have the same named item on more than once on an attraction, and you can't have more than 1 named staff member in your employees. So once you've done your cleanup, you're going to move to the next round. You're going to flip your new city card, and you're going to repeat until you've completed 6 rounds. Then you're going to go to the scoring, and we've got a handy dandy little score pad. I couldn't believe there's actually a pencil. There was a sharpened pencil. I can't remember the last time I opened up a game box and there was a pencil in there. So you're going to score from attractions. So we have a little scoring summary So as an example, let's just throw a bunch of stuff together here. Just for the heck of it. Yeah, we'll give it a flagpole. So what you're going to do is you're going to count up the icons that run along the left of the card. Doesn't matter what they are. You're just going to count them up. Now, some big deal attractions, like the showcase, actually has a couple. That would be 2 icons. So what you're going to do is you're going to score each of the attractions based on this. So this has 4 icons. 4 icons would be 16 points for this attraction. Then once you tallied up all your attractions, you're going to tally up your blueprints that you've hopefully completed. You're going to tally up your victory points for that. After you've done that, you're going to look at your coins. So for every 2 coins, you get 1 victory point. You're going to look, some of the staff members have little victory point icons on them as well that you score at the end of the game. And of course, I'm pointing right at the award card right now. Anybody who won the award here is going to be awarded those victory points. So pretty cool. And of course, there's some tiebreakers and things like that. But I got to be honest, we played this 5 times already. We haven't had any tiebreakers. But there are tie-breaking rules. All right. So let's swing on over to the other camera because that's pretty much how you play Funfair. Let me share my final thoughts and give this a review score. Do you get the impression that I like Funfair? So I really, really like this a lot. And I had a feeling it was going to be pretty good because I had heard good things about Unfair. And basically, Funfair is being promoted as a bit lighter, a lot less take that to the game than you would find in Unfair. Although, you know, I like take that. I like take that in my games. But this is much more family friendly, I guess. You're not going to, you know, tick people off for picking on them. Now, there are ways that you can affect other players, and mainly by snagging up cards that you think that they probably want, but there is no real direct confrontation or anything like that. So a lot of people will definitely appreciate that. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go back to the other camera because I had mentioned I was going to zoom in. I wanted to show you the artwork on the cards as the camera kind of jiggles around a little bit, just kind of give you an idea. And it's kind of interesting. So for one, like I said, I really like the art, but even the duplicates. So for an example, there's a few cinema cards. They actually have different movie titles on the marquee. So some of them aren't necessarily, you know, all completely different art, but definitely like the artwork quite a bit on the cards here. I really thought that was very nicely done. It's got the jungle performer, a pirate theme. So one of the, also something I should point out is when you're putting like themes on a ride, you can have multiple themes. Remember, the only thing really that you have to pay attention to is you can't duplicate the same thing on a ride. But artwork is really cool, like I said. Even for some of the mundane stuff, there's like our robot theme. There's our snack cellar. See, snack cellar would be good for us because remember we had that cinema. It's a theater. We would have been able to get some extra coins out of that. Superior quality. Cool. All right. So like I said, I just wanted to kind of show off the artwork on the cards. Once again, the component quality is really nice for everything in the game. I just mentioned sleeve the cards because you will end up, especially the park deck, shuffling that up quite a bit. Because remember, one of the actions you can take is to draw 5 by discarding one of your cards and then keeping one of those 5 or deciding not to keep any of them and just discarding them. So you tend to go through the park deck relatively quickly, and you'll be reshuffling that from time to time, although the deck is a pretty good size. So I like the light engine building aspects of the game. There are a lot of different ways to approach this to try to win. You don't necessarily have to just have the most like jazzed out attractions with all these tons of features and themes and things like that, especially if you're completing blueprints, because those are good for 20 victory points if you complete them. Plus, there's a little bonus to them as well. And of course, don't take on too many blueprints that you can't complete because you'll lose 10 victory points. You got the awards, you got the staff members. So there are a lot of ways to score different points. I wouldn't necessarily say this is like a point salad, but it's close. But I like games like that. I like games that give you a variety of ways to score victory points, because then you're not just staring at one avenue to victory. That's certainly not the case with this. I hope to see some expansions for Funfair in the near future. I know there's an expansion for Unfair, because the kind folks over at Good Games Publishing sent that to me for review as well. I got to say, everybody who's played this with me has really enjoyed it. There can be a little analysis paralysis. I got to be honest. There is that. And then the only other small, tiny quibble I have is I would have liked to have seen a few more showcase attractions. There's up to 4 players and there's 4 showcase attractions. I just would have liked to have seen, 2 or 3 more, so that way there's a little variety in the showcase rides. Even though they all cost the same amount to build, they're all 20 coins. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I give Funfair an extremely solid recommendation. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. It is that good. We have had that much fun with it. All right. That is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It will not only let you know when I upload videos such as this review, it'll also tell you when my live stream, The Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. When you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. And of course, as I close out all of my videos during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the Gaming Gang channel yet, click right here. If you'd like to see the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, click right up there. And if you want to trust YouTube's algorithm to give you something to watch, click right there. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and everybody please wear a mask.